Hello and welcome to another weekly live stream. This one we're being controlled with a nice little stream controller deck thing I got for Christmas. So I can do two computer streaming without switching back and forth between the screens. So anyway, tonight we'll be messing with some more AI stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. There's my superheroes and heroes stuff, the patrons that help keep everything going. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Let me switch over real quick to it reset my scroll, so I can't see if audio is actually working. It is. Okay, cool. So see, last time we were working on we did the goal-oriented action planning, or GOAP, and I essentially got that working. I might have neatened it up a little bit, but I haven't done anything more with that because I've been kind of working from the top down. And in fact, let's go ahead and talk about... Yeah, so we messed with action rules. So town AI. What do we want to do? So at the very high level, the town has some simple GOAP-like rules to keep itself running and the population happy. So that feeds into the jobs, schedules, and daily goals of the citizens. Hey, good evening, Max. How's it going? Actually, I'm not sure if the sound is working. Let me try chatting and see if the sound is working. Yep, sound's working. It's just taking a while. Alright, so that feeds the job schedules and daily goals of the citizens. The daily schedules control where an NPC appears when a player gets to the town and or encounters them. This involves level of detail, and so that's kind of I can. So again, like last week I said, I struggled with always working at the low level, what I was going to need to call to make the AI, make the mobs actually move around and stuff. GOAP. Where's the? Oh yeah, GOPA. Yep, sure. Anyway, so so we did the GOAP stuff last week. Then we finally got that working right before the stream finished. And then so tonight, so anyway, so this is like the hard part, really, because you want to know sort of in general, without even going to a town, you kind of want to know what everybody in the town is going to be doing. And then as the player's walking around, the things that are nearby the player, they need to have like full autonomy and actually be doing their job, and everybody else needs to be just kind of following a schedule. And if anything disrupts their schedule, then it needs to go back to the town, and the town would recalculate everybody's schedules and so on. So if like if a dragon came and blew up half the town, obviously the town AI is going to have to reassign everybody things. But in the meantime, they tick along with their daily schedules, and I would prefer it if it didn't look the same every day, so that if you sat and watched, there would be some variation. Anyway, we get into that. So anyway, I started, this is beyond the scope of this right now, and I can do so I did a lot of design here, I did a lot of design here and here, and what I've come down to is if I can define what this schedule looks like, how granular it should be, and so on, to make the LOD work, then when I eventually get to write this, basically it'll just be feeding these schedules and, sort of the list of daily goals for the citizens. So we're going to focus on what that schedule needs to look like and making the players move around and having that level of detail aware. Oh man, I've got a really dry throat tonight. That's not a good sign. Because A, that's the hard part, and B, even without this, I could make some pretty interesting looking towns, just with the scheduling, if the schedules were auto assigned. Like right now our towns are completely random, so it's actually difficult for a town AI to work correctly, because towns may exist where towns shouldn't exist because they're like completely randomly placed. There's no logic to them. There may not actually be the resources for them to exist, or the trade routes and so on. We don't have any of that stuff, so town AI will have to develop over time. Today it'll be really simple. We'll just pre-fill a bunch of schedules. So anyway, in light of that, this last week I've been working on this prototype tool. Basically, it's in the scripter. I enhanced the scripter tool to support actual, mmod modules from the Moss open source stuff, and then they have like a so I have this AI project that I've created. Whoops. And in here there's like a mods directory where you can put this module resources txt, which lists a whole bunch of modules that are essentially loaded when the app starts up. They're not live load, and these can actually include resources from Mythruna itself in this case, because we're in the Mythruna project. And so I can actually include real modules from Mythruna, so I get like all the object scripting and anything that I can bring in that doesn't also require a whole bunch of other dependencies. For example, I don't have a real world manager, so anything that requires a world manager has to be refactored slightly, or I can't include it. But so some things I include in an adapter. The other things like this base includes base APIs, base object API. There's a bunch of things I could include directly, and even some of the game systems, even though I don't start them in modules, I could include those directly too. And then there's the sort of live load scripts, which I've been there's the live load scripts which I've been playing with. Why? Oh, that would be in the mods. So yeah, so the other thing I did was I loaded up Mythruna, and I used a custom scripting command to allow me to dump whatever town I'm in, and some surroundings to a file, a blocks file that I could load in Blockhead. And then it also dumps like the building information and stuff, so then I can load it into here and have a world to play with, so that I didn't have to create a world from scratch. So this is actually the same town we were playing in the game when doing those collision live streams and stuff. We were playing in that one town that's kind of near the coast of that particular seed. And so this will load like a top-down version of that and some buffer space around it, just because the towns are square right now and my view here is rectangular. And so it knows where the buildings are, and like I've tried to like color code them for some types. Like I have merchants are yellow, which means basically a merchant is someplace that a NPC could go for resources, but it's also someplace where an NPC could work. The blue buildings are buildings that could be, they're like single story or primarily single story buildings that could be places of work. Like any of these could be like a pub or a tavern, or a blacksmith or whatever. And then I've also done the same thing for these temples, because they're just called stone canopies, and they have a big flame in the middle, and basically any craft could be set up here. And then I've got these gardens, so if we want to support simple farming, so I've just marked these so that I can assign NPCs. The pink are the warehouses, so this is where, if the town is magically providing a whole bunch of resources for the NPCs, this would be where they would go to get those. And so from this, we should be able to, if I make NPCs like have some simple logic on how to deal with this stuff, we should be able to see them wander around. And I'm not going to deal with pathfinding tonight, so they'll just kind of cruise straight to where they're going through buildings and stuff, because pathfinding is another step, and it's actually slightly below where we're dealing with here. Although I do kind of feel like pathfinding will be built into the schedule at some point, so that towns can easily sort of update the map of roads, not the road map, right? The map of roads that citizens would use to navigate. Anyway, like I used the actual Mythruna support to load, to be able to load, making random NPCs wearing random clothing. And so I've got like a couple samples here. And so we'll basically just, these aren't the real ones, we'll create a bunch and scatter them around their houses. I have the ability to control time because it starts out on the first day at midnight, and so we can advance time by hours and days if we want to see multi-day schedules. If we get to that point where, Sunday maybe there's a different Saturday and Sunday maybe there's a different schedule than during the week, and so on. Right now, so I can reset the camera. So right now all of the zones are gray because there's actually no player here, but I have the ability to add a simulated player. And so that adds, you can kind of see their little circle up here, and if I can move them either a zone at a time, or I can move them little bits at a time, and I can add as many as I want to make sure that the active zones, so the zones in green are the zones where that player could actually see any of the mobs, and in yellow that's where the AI should be active and physics should be fully active, but animating it and so on is not necessary. But the AI needs to be able to navigate, because at any instant that NPC could move into the player's view, or the player could move in, have them in their view. Anything in the gray is stuff that the town kind of manages where they are generally. Because the town is active, it has to know where their position is in case that position intersects one of these. Like if you're out of the town at all, the town's doing nothing. It's just got that schedule. Aside from any inputs and outputs, imports and exports that might be happening. But so while we're even in the town, every one of these town squares is active on some level. So anyway, so today's goal is to make these guys, to randomly generate some of these guys, give them jobs and like schedules and things. And I have not defined the schedule. I've actually been kind of dragging my feet because I had intended to be working on the scheduling part on like Tuesday or Wednesday, but Christmas and so on came up, and I kept finding like one more thing I wanted to add to the tool. And so tonight, like this live stream is going to be my sort of rip off the band-aid and get that done. But yeah, so it'll like randomly generate a player, and sometimes their names are kind of funny because it's like completely random. Kachika Xiao Xiu. And you can add more, like if you wanted to see how the different zones interact. So like if we took the original one, Kachika, and we move her farther away, we can see that we've got another player up here that started, and so that means these zones are active, and these zones are active because the other player's over here. And I could make sure, because I had to re-implement all this. As it turned out, Mythruna hadn't fully past Paul hadn't fully implemented the zones and stuff. It was only like active and inactive. It didn't have any of the partially active. But anyway, so now I can make sure that the yellows overlap correctly, and that when they're both here, that all of this is green, because both players can see all these things, and that even though they're overlapping, things get reset properly when they move around and stuff. Anyway, so now we're in a live reload environment. We can start messing with things. I think the first thing we'll do is so this is like a little these show, the color shows whether they're active, or so high, low, and if it's gray, they're passive. That means basically the town's fully controlling them. It shows which way they're pointing and things like that. And I can actually have like real objects in the game, like this is an actual chest. I can't open it and close it, but it could open and close if I had added that support. And yeah, I got zoom in and out support kind of, and I can drag to move around. It's a pretty neat little tool. I threw it together in just a few days. Kind of happy with it. Yeah, the base tool scripter that just loads some Groovy scripts and runs them got quite a few advancements, and it didn't take that much code, like 30 or 40 new lines of code, to get all this support and have like these two menus I can add things to, and I still got all of the same sky controls I did before, but I can add my own little panels here. I can load actual game modules and systems and stuff, and have adapter layers and library loading, all this other stuff. It's really neat. I'm kind of excited about it. Okay, so let me think. So one of the things I've been learning over this past week as I've been like super productive, so I was not productive over Thanksgiving. I got the stuff done, but there was so many things competing for my time that I didn't get a lot done. And so sometimes people ask me, how do you stay productive? And at the end of the week, I had to kind of give myself permission to be okay with the fact that I didn't get a lot done that I'd wanted to get done, but that I worked anyway, because it would have been really easy to just not work at all. But I kept moving things forward. But this week that I'm taking off, these 2 weeks, I have been productive. I've been able to keep my own schedule. I didn't have a lot of other things to do, so I could be productive when I was productive, sleep when I slept. And so I've been sleeping like 2 or 3 times a day, but then working 2 or 3 times a day. Anyway, so this has been good. And mostly just like finding ways to keep moving forward. If like the scheduling thing wasn't really like hot on my brain at the time. And so, I worked on other things. I do some writing of notes. I've got lots and lots of notes. I've started to build a database of jobs that NPCs might get. I'm just closing a bunch of files here so that we can so that this list isn't so long. Yeah, so I could probably close a bunch of those too, but let's close these guys. Yes, I could have done this before the live stream, but I took a nap before the live stream instead. Okay, I think those are good. This is good. Probably don't need any of these, and if I do, I can open them when I need them. I'm just going to close everything except for my file that I used to find this section of my I have my methods, I don't need that anymore. That's the so this is the extraction command I use to extract the town from world. And that'll work for any town, anywhere in any world. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so this is one of the ways I decoupled things, so I could reuse even the client-side code if I wanted. Okay, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so see, I've like started to keep a database of jobs, which I'll eventually. These are like jobs I downloaded off the internet. If somebody kept track of like medieval jobs, and it's a good source of information. And Mythruna, the guilds and stuff will work very specifically different than the Middle Ages, but it was nice. Anyway, okay, so back to what we're doing. So the AI setup. So this is where I've sort of created. That's where we load the town stuff. I could probably move that up to the top. And then yeah. And I don't need this anymore. And I don't need this anymore. Yeah, so if you see this, it'll reload. Well, it did. It didn't look like it did, but it did. Yeah, so I got this Ampligame stream controller. It's pretty cool. So I have like 15 custom buttons that I can set up with little graphics on them. It's kind of cool. So that's what I'm using to control the stream tonight. Has everyone been having a good holiday? Okay, so we probably don't need these anymore. Just to clean that up. In fact, I may move this over to its own. And then just not use it. Just so I have it as reference if I want to. And then oh yeah, it's like auto includes and everything. Finishing a little project that was nice. Oh, well, that'll feel really good, at least. So, but anyway, yes, you guys are my great excuse tonight to get this started, basically, finally. Okay, so I'm going to move all of these over to test objects. And what we'll do then is, so now if I do this, we won't have any AI we won't have any little mobs at all anymore. And so now we can concentrate on what we want to do to make schedules. And again, I've got a lot of notes on these. And so let me bring over a sample schedule of like what an NPC's day might look like. So this would be maybe a sample day. And so I need to support this in a way that essentially requires no work at all when the town isn't active, and when the town's active, you know, probably these incorporate also travel from X to Y. But first, maybe let's go ahead and organize. Again, I always get sidetracked, right? But I've got all these buildings. Okay, we'll do scheduling first, because I've been putting it off with exactly these little side trips. What I was going to do is start collecting the lists of buildings so that I can assign them to the NPCs as I create them. But let's create one NPC with a schedule and have them walk around randomly around the town, and we'll feel much better about ourselves. And so I'm going to just create a word for a schedule event. I'm going to call it a sked because it's nice and short. And so this will be an item in the schedule. And for debugging purposes, we'll give it a name. Actually, I'm going to try to write this as a full Java class so that I can more easily cut and paste it later. I could give up on that here in a few minutes because, you know, it always takes longer to type things like that. Okay, so the schedule. I'm wondering if we want to say, I think for start and stop, we'll do a world time. Maybe. Things that I could add to a midnight, for example. World time is I got itchy nose. World time is basically what's used to draw this month, day, year, but it also has some math. If I had just a time with just days and hours, I can add it to an existing time, or I can get it as a relative time, and so on and so forth. And so I should be able to, for the scheduler, get sort of when the next time it starts for that particular day. I'm going to need some lighting here. Yeah, I turned the brightness way down on this screen over here. And so now, like, I'm sitting in the dark over here. right, so world time is a nice way to keep track of that. I'm going to start with that because we can use like human-friendly strings to keep track of that. But that means for today in the game. So these are the sort of the hard-coded parts, and then rather than trying to decide if I want to build that and build the actual capability into here as well, or maybe that's a sked action. So then cannot type. Sked action will be what it does, and let's say then let's see if that compiles. Yeah, okay. So I'm thinking that the thing running the scheduler will know what current midnight is, and then can call the sked, and then the sked will calculate what the current time of day is, and even like calculate the tween value between start and end. And so then a sked action, this is really probably an interface. And so a sked action will have two different ways to call it. Probably void so passive tween just for lack of a better word, I'm just going to call them these for now. So it's really like passive low high. I'm trying to just think of a simple move. Alright, so then let's create a move sked action implements sked action, and this will have a vec3d. Right, double. The speed will be controlled by. So we will set up something that will calculate the duration based on the speed, just to give us a little. No, we'll build this into. So calculate duration would be double distance equals end. Actually, I think I just do end minus start. Return distance times speed. I think that works. It's going to tell me I'm missing methods. Yep. Okay. So scripting is so much quicker. It's just because of the live reloading, right? But the problem, of course, is sometimes it takes a while to get it massaged back into Java code. Yeah, so that all compiles again. Okay. And so I'm almost inclined to make a hacky system that moves these passive. We don't need to do anything Well, yeah, I mean, we do. So passive moves it without any checks, and so for now I'm actually going to have them all call passive. And this will be where we actually do the work. Okay, so we're going to need to know what we're moving. Mover. So entity ID, the mover, where we're starting, where we're ending, how fast we're walking. It's 3 meters per second, 2 meters per second, whatever. Now Groovy has a shortcut for these sorts of constructors, so I don't find it any less verbose than doing it this way. It is maybe less error prone, but I would have to then redo all these constructors when I cut and paste over to Java. So I'm trying to do this the right way. And I'm going to create a utility method for myself, because it turns out moving an object is a pain in the butt. It looks like this. Well, for the NPCs it'll be a little simpler, but still I want to thing is, like, in actual classes I won't be able to call the scripted actions directly without like passing them in a strange way. So rather than put this as an action on the NPCs, move NPC DID NPC vec3d position. Yes. And then we can also yeah, let's go ahead and do the orientation too. Alright, so then we can get the elevation, because like there's not really any physics right now, so just so that the things don't clip into the ground, so yeah, we'll just set the component. I don't have to do this, so I won't. Alright, so this will set the elevation, and yeah, that'll work. For now, I won't. We actually could set the orientation as well. Let me make sure I'm still compilable. I was in the middle of doing stuff down here. Yeah, still we're good. Alright, so so then we want to calculate where we're supposed to be, which will be, I think there's an interpolate method. If I copied it from interpolate local. Yeah, neat. All right. We'll call it position equals new vec3d interpolate local start end tween and quad d orientation equals new quad d I'm going to keep track of a so I can just send facing in here. And so then facing will be 3D dir equals n minus start. This dot facing equals new quad d. I hope I implemented look at. I don't know that I did. I did not implement look at. So what we will do is we will use JMonkey engines. So what is the Lemino PQ? PQ, there we go, quaternion. Look at, yeah, the direction. Okay, cool. All right. Oops. So yeah, new quaternion. Look at dir dot to vector 3f, comma vector 3f unit y, and then we say move NPC mover position facing, boink, see what blows up. Things blew up. Quad, oh, it's quad D, and then we have to say new quad D. Okay, so these compile at least. Let's real quickly just create an NPC and make sure that oh yeah, we had to spool it, that's right. Excuse me, I didn't mean to bump the mic there. So we'll just real quickly do a test, if true. Another one here, just to make sure that the code is working correctly. We're going to just create an NPC, create one of these move sched actions for it. First, let's make sure that this is even working. Did it create an NPC? Yep, right there. So the cool thing is, because we're not reloading the UI or anything, we can redo the code. Anyway, you'll see. So move sched action equals new move sched action. So we will make him, the NPC is the mover. The start is going to be loc. The end is going to be loc. We'll make him move like down 10 meters at 1 meter per second. And it doesn't really matter because I'm going to just force pass in the 0.5. So then it should force move him. Whoops, it did not. Did something blow up? Yes, something blew up. Error updating systems. Move sched action and no signature of AI setup. Move sched action applicable. I didn't do a new. Okay, so he should. He did not move. Unless that's not really him. If something failed, it, so that is him. And then the create, so the NPC, oh, no, wait, these have to have the, no, they don't have to have body position. Right? No, I don't give them body position to start with. All right then. Let's print line Move NPC to pos. Okay, so here we got, oh yeah. Okay, we know that it's compiling because it's failing to compile. Yeah, so we should have gotten a move. You know what, real quickly, I'm going to move the loading of the town into its own let's make a, I'm going to move the loading of the town into its own mod. No, because I just wanted to get rid of these whenever we do the thing. But see, we did the building and so on after. Alright. Let's, let's make sure it's calling the thing. Okay, I thought I saw errors pass by. Yeah, okay, so we're not really calling it. Yeah, okay. No such property. Oh, vector on line 239. No, that's just, it's in here somewhere. I spelled vector. There we go. Okay, still not working, but yeah, it's trying. Okay, no signature of method. Oh yeah, of course. This is what I was just talking about before. When I do these sorts of little utility closures like this, the global bindings, they don't have access to this. And it turns out, so we do want to be able to get elevation though. So what we can do is, is that worth it? I'm not sure that's worth it. It's this get elevation thing that's going to be the problem. We can just pass this in. It's just kind of a pain. So then when we create these, we can pass this closure in as a parameter. I think I saw errors go by again. Yep. No such property ed. Yeah. That makes sense. We're getting closer. I'm glad I didn't bury this in a whole bunch of infrastructure first. Missing property, no such property entity. Yes, that would be true. Because it's called, let's call it entity. Why not? Whoa! I don't think I saw errors go by. Oh, nope, there they are. Okay, no such property loc. Yeah, okay. I changed it in one place and I didn't change it in the other. make life harder for myself sometimes. Oh, no errors this time. So it should have moved it. Oops. I clicked the right thing. Yeah, look, it moved it. Yay. And so, if we were to change how far it moves, so this is closer to the start. It's recreating this every time, so it's not really animated. That's why it's, and so when it's almost to where it's going to go, it's going to be. Oh yeah, it just crossed this one border, so it's now no longer in. It crossed this one line right here. Oh, it looks like this line is not on the ground. It looked like the NPC was floating, but the NPC is not floating. I don't think we have shadows. That is something we could add. Anyway, alright, so we have the fundamental building blocks we would need to have an NPC walk around. We just need to do that. So let me cut and paste my. So next what we'll do is we'll write a simple game system that maybe has him walk in a square or a diamond or something, just so we can verify that basically we can get all this wiring done, the time wiring. So yeah, I want to see it animated, basically. Not the real scheduler necessarily, but starting to get to the real scheduler. And so we're going to create a simple game system. I think it's going to make me do, yeah, okay. So let's just cut and paste this for a second. Class sched system extends abstract game system, and we need to implement initialize and terminate, and we're going to want to implement update. Okay, so we don't need anymore. This should just work. Nope. Maybe we need to import some stuff. Yep. Okay. Import SimSilica. This is a really nice feature of Groovy that I can put imports anywhere. Well, anywhere that's not inside of a class or a closure. But I mean, I don't have to put them all up at the top. So as I lump more things into the same script that really should be in their own script, it's really nice that I can keep that stuff together. Alright. And so this, okay, this hasn't been added. I'm going to do this little trick I use to essentially to remove the last one and set the new one. So if we have the variable last sched system, this allows, when I'm reloading it, it will remove the old one. I think I could just say remove last sched system, and then last sched system equals new sched system, and then game systems register So this little trick that um, makes it so that if I reset this script, it will remove it again and re-add it to the game systems that don't get reset. Because like while this is running, all the game systems are there, and so why didn't it remove? Oh, it re-added that NPC. That's why. Let's change this to false, and we'll see that NPC go away. Okay. But that means like I can say, I can add this, and it'll start streaming because it'll add this system. Oh, that's not good. Okay, something's messed up. Yeah. Okay. No signature method remove. Okay, so that's a problem. That means I'm gonna have to restart because I forgot how to remove a system. Attach system. No. Add system. Remove system. Of course. And let me make sure remove is going to unregister it as well. Yep. Okay. Where were we? Too many files. Too many files. And that means... Alright. Okay, so now we've got like print. And if I remove this print, now it should stop doing it. Okay, although it is still running, it's just not doing that anymore. Now we've got live reloading capability for our scheduler system. And so let's make a schedule. I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to have to make a whole day. Well, why not? Alright, and so what we want to do, let me go ahead and make a constructor for this. Not sket. Yeah, so this, I mean, I prefer to work in smaller increments, but this is going to make me do the math for the start and the end time. And so that's not entirely a bad thing. Okay, so let me steal my so let's make a new if true, or do I want to just yeah, that's fine. So just for now, so I'm going to steal this again up here. Actually, why do that when I can just do this? We don't need that anymore. Alright, so let's make a... See, that's the part. Okay, so, sched list add. And so new sched A, or step 1. And let me look at the world time constructor. I don't know if it has a constructor, if it needs to be. So I can just parse it. Yeah, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get away from time pattern matcher. These should all be optional. Yes, I should be able to just do the last hours. So world time. Wait, what was the parse method called? Was it just parse? Parse world time. Thanks for being nice and verbose, past Paul. Parse time. So this will be from midnight to, let's do it like this. Let's make it to the, take them an hour, which is a minute in game. So new sched. All right, let's be better about this. And then the action, which is a new move sched action. NPC loc.add. Let's make it 64 3 meters per second. Move NPC. And so we don't need this anymore. We don't. Right. Oh, I brought these over so that I could get there. Yeah, and I didn't need them. Okay, so that should not. Well, okay, it blew up. Oh, typo in the constructor. Okay, so we've got the NPC created. He's ready to go on his schedule, which would be to walk. Maybe I should have him walk in a big square. So it would be easier to deal with. So step 1, step 2, or we could have him walk in kind of a hexagon. Oh, we don't want him to start there. Yeah. So maybe I should just set these locs up out here. It'll make the code a lot easier to write. Def loc 3 equals loc 2. So yeah, because now I can do them all relative. So we can have this one be relative to that one. Alright, loc 3 add 0, 0, 64. So maybe make him walk in an octagon. If he walks in an octagon and he takes 3 hours for each step, then that would be a full day. Or if he walks in an octagon and it takes him 8 hours, I could just cut and paste that. Sort of. Oh boy, okay. Minus 64, 0, 64. Loc 6 equals loc 5. Add minus 64, 0, 0. Loc 7 equals loc 6. Add minus 64, 0, minus 64. Loc 8 equals loc 7 dot add 0, 0, 64? No, that was minus 64. I feel like there's an extra one. So we started here, then we went over, then we went down, then we went down, then we went back this way, then we went back this way, then we went back this way. Now we went up. And now the last one should take us back to the beginning by doing 64 minus 64, and we should be back at the beginning. So we should be able to just say loc here. Okay. So step 1 takes an hour, step 2 takes an hour, and we can do loc 1 to loc 2, loc 2 to loc 3, and so on and so on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So loc 1 to loc 2, loc 2 to loc 3, loc 3 to loc 4, loc 4 to loc 5, loc 5 to loc 6. Oops, loc 5, 5 to loc 6, loc 6 to loc 7, loc 7 to loc 8. Ah, I did it again. Shifted my fingers too soon. Okay, and then loc 8 to loc 9, which is back to the beginning. And I'm definitely going to need commas here. I'm going to need to set the times different too. I think I'm just going to set them to be 3 hours each. We'll see movement. It'll just be really slow. So then 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 18, 18 to 21, and 21 to 24. So sad. Pepsi gone. Okay. Are we gonna blow up, or are we gonna still compile? Oop. Okay, we not even compiling. You can't add things to Rayless? Oh, Frel. Okay, yeah, I should have done a sched list add to each one of those, but instead I'll just put them all in a list, and this should work. Alright, did we succeed or fail? Okay. Alright, it compiled. And we're not doing anything with it. That's fine. We're not really set up, so let's check the sched list. And again, this is just the really super straightforward one. It's not the real one. So let's call it sched, public sched system. And so then we will, down here where we create it, sched list. That should still compile. Yes. Okay. So now at any given time, is there a world time that auto updates? What am I using in the UI? Yeah, I just kept stacking all these classes in here. Okay. The world time service, what do I use to get the current time? Real-time service. Oh, I just ask it. Okay, so let's use real-time service. Initialize. Alright, and then the world time service should be in sim, I think. Mm-hmm. And then world time, does it have a way? I think I made utilities somewhere for getting midnight. I have a whole event scheduling system that must be doing that. Is it in time? Scheduling system. Entities marked with persistent schedule time component. Yeah, so schedule time. Oh, so this is just... Yeah, it's not doing what I want. But I was pretty sure... that I had a way of calculating what the time would be at midnight. Not in Java. Let's see Groovy. Aha. Base time API. Relative to here time. So right in the base directory here, base time API. Not that. Midnight. Where did I? Okay. Returns the next moonrise, or if the moon is already up, this will return the previous moonrise. We are already in the next morning after this. Day equals now.day. Yeah, so that's what it does, is it just uses the current day. Can I set the values of world time? I can. So if I clone the... Alright. I have a plan. And we'll be able to print it out too. So here we're going to do... let's see. World time, time of day, TOD, time of day, equals... world time service get world time dot clone TOD set day 0. Actually, I want to do set year 0. And let's do TOD, TOD, TOD. That's not gonna help me. As full string. Yep. So that's basically. I mean, it is set to in January 1st. Well, not. It's not really January. I can't remember the name of the month in Mythruna, but it is the time of day piece of this. Yeah, because we're already in the third day, just sitting here. Yeah, so that's doing what I want it to do. And so then we should be able to... Is world... Okay, I can turn this off now. Is world time comparable? It is! That's awesome. Okay. So then... So then we ought to be able to figure out, using this, what the current schedule is. Okay, so using the time of day, we're going to go through sched. Oh yeah, we got to do this. Oh yeah, sched list. We should call this sched list. I can't have decided that sched means an item in the schedule and then still have used. You know what I mean. So if sched dot start is less than 0 and sched dot end to TOD less than or equal to 0 is greater than or equal to 0, return sched, return null. There was nothing. So let's do sched equals get sched, and there'll be a more efficient way to do this. TOD print line sched. Let's just see if it found one. Yes, it did. And then the name. So it's on step 6. Does that sound right? Step 6 was 15 to 1800. We are 15 to 1800. Awesome. Alrighty. We're getting there. Okay, so then now we can figure out between. So let's see, length is going to be world time. Can I subtract? No. But I can get sim time. Alright. TOD. Wait. Sched dot end. What was it again? Oh man. Sim time. Get sim time minus start. Double part equals TOD get sim time. Oops. Minus get dot. Let's just steal it. Okay. And so then the double tween equals part divided by length. If sked is not equal to null. Boink, boink, boink. Then we say sked action passive sked.action.passive tween. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of debugging in there. Alright, so he should be walking around somewhere. Where, I could not tell you. Probably we want to keep track of that though. He's walking straight down, way, way, way down. Or he's walking up, but it's way down here somewhere. Oh, there he is. So yeah, that was a ginormous octagon. Let's make sure he loops. Oh yeah, he's coming back up to be in 24 hours. He didn't end up where he started. But that's cool. That worked. So we begin to have the building blocks to make things. And he's going to walk right through this building. And if I did things right, we should be able to like jump him ahead. Yeah, boink, boink, boink. Ha 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 ha. Now he should have started out over at the gallows. I don't think he's going to make it back to the gallows. I think something in the math got messed up somewhere. We can jump ahead in time a little bit. Doink, 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 doink. Or maybe he's just moving super fast. Nope, he's going to make it back over to the gallows, I bet. Yeah, so thus those distances were... Yeah, he jumped down beneath the wood floor. Alright, so we're getting the building blocks. Now, so we're going to want to have something per NPC to do that logic, but we're getting closer. And of course he's walking super slow. And obviously these aren't being animated. That's the lower level stuff that this gets hooked into at some point. Yeah. Nor would they be because he's in passive mode anyway, but... Yeah, so he's walking about 1.5 meters per second. Yep, now he's active again, but... Yeah, so he should end up right back where he started and loop if we're lucky. Yep. All right. Yeah, so he'll walk faster down the diagonals because I didn't take length into account. He was for a second stepping up on the... Alright, so that's working. So now we've got one NPC walking around the town in a giant, really giant octagon. I need to think of what next step would be. Well, first of all, I'm going to get rid of a bunch of debugging. Model view. Yeah, so let me get rid of a bunch of debugging, because that'll be painful later. One of these is in model view. Because I was debugging something? Yes. So that won't live reload, and then the other one is in the init world where I created this get elevation, this debug, and that is in an agent view. Agent view updates happening all of the time. That's in the debug. Not these. These. Yep. All right. Here. All right. Let's kill this and start it over again, because that having that log stream over there was making my eyes go buggy. Alright, let's see how it goes. Now if I did this correctly, we ought to be able to fast forward through. I was doing 5-minute increments earlier, but we should be able to do yeah, so he's walking. Let me go ahead and add a player so that we get, anyway, so he's walking. I should be able to like skip him through by hours. Yep. Yep. So he's down here. Yeah, right here. Okay. Yeah, so essentially that was like a really big route to take him on, as it turns out. But and we're still getting a bunch of agents changed, names changed. Yeah, so we got to get rid of some more debugging. Ba 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 da ba da ba. Not here. In here. Okay. Don't need that. Alright. I'm trying to think what the next step needs to be. So the next step needs to be encapsulating a single agent's stuff. Then I can have gaps in time where he doesn't do anything. So then I can create some methods to plot out a particular agent's schedule. Move NPC. Okay, but I can redo move NPC. That's set up here. Why? Oh no, that's in here. Right here. Alright. Okie dokie, now he's walking along doing his thing. Let's add a player and move the player over. Make sure that even though that guy's moving, yep, so he got activated when this fake player moved in range. Okay, so that's all working. Now let's figure out how to... Let's get Sked system closer to what it's going to look like. Probably it'll be a hierarchy of things, but so let's move it up one more level where we keep track of one player schedule, and then we can keep track of what the current one is, so that we're not constantly searching each time. We can keep track of the current one. And so we will say, for lack of a better word, let's call it active schedule. And we're going to encapsulate a bunch of things. So it's going to take a scheduled list and an entity. And then we'll and so the update will take the TOD, so we don't need this part. So this is just skeds. Blah, blah. So this is not any more efficient than what we've got, but we can encapsulate it together. And so we want to move this up above our code up here. And so we want active schedules. It's going to be a list. We don't need this anymore. Instead, we will create actually, technically, we don't need the I'd like to parameterize this entity that we passed in, but NPC, so that it gets passed. We could make these more reusable, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to keep it this way for now. So then active schedule skeds add all link. Okay, so that should do that. And then so in this one, instead of this, actually, and so that we don't need this stuff anymore. We do need this. We don't need that. And so here we can say schedules each active update TOD. I think that's what's going to blow up. Bunch of things Oh my gosh. Signature. Oh, so that's not a sked. Active schedule. Oh, I never added it for one thing. Oh, we never. Yeah, okay. I'm still passing the old. Ooh, we might have to start over again. Just because there was so much backlog. Alright, so movement is not happening. Which means there was an error somewhere back here. Yep. Or is that the old error? That's the old error. Okay. Oh, I know why. We never added the schedule to the... Yeah, okay. Active... Schedules, add. Here we go. There he goes. Now he's walking away. Alright, so we ought to be able to now create some interesting schedules just to see kind of what it will look like. And so now's the part where it would be nice if I knew where the buildings and things were. Yeah. So let us figure that out. Let's... Alright, first, what we're going to do... We're going to save our work. Working basic schedules. Removed a bunch of logging. Alright, now that's saved. And then I won't feel bad about hacking things away. Alright, so... let's not use any rhyme or reason to let's keep track of warehouses, gardens, houses, workshops, merchants, just for fun. Okay, so if yeah, Yeah, the cool thing is, like, that NPC will resume his schedule even though he was recreated just now, because the schedule's based on time, and the time keeps ticking. Man, I am like... my mouth is dry. But we're getting close. I want to have NPCs walking to their houses, to their work, and so on and so forth before we get done today. So, so if name contains BLDG, I think it's test 3, test 4. Yeah, test 3 and test 4. Actually, I can look over at the logic that I used to draw them. This is actually so better. This would be so much better, actually. Actually have an if statement. There we go. This. Why bother with guessing when I've already got the... So if the name starts with the warehouse, then warehouses add building. If the names start gardens, gardens add building. Name. Alright, we'll save myself some time here. I don't think type is used in here. That way I don't have to worry about keeping it right every time. Alright, so workshops, add building. Alright. Right. Yep. Oops. Merchants. And that's a special kind of storage. I'm gonna wells add building. I feel like most NPCs will get up and either have breakfast or go a little well and like splash their head with water or something. No, it does have consequence. That's the idea. The work doesn't happen if the NPC doesn't do it. If you're not there to watch it, it happens. As long as the condition... So that's the other thing is, like, each of these schedule items... I'm kind of oversimplifying, right? Let me see if I blew things up. I'm kind of oversimplifying in this particular case, because, I mean, you have to start somewhere, right? But a scheduled item would have some conditions that need to be met in order for it to work at all. So, for example, if you know, step 5 was he's going to work in the, you know, blacksmith or whatever, there has to be a blacksmith. There has to be an anvil. There has to be a forge and stuff for him to do his job. Otherwise, this scheduled item can't complete, and the town would have to sort of know that it needs to revamp its actions. But no, that's the idea. Is if you went and you burned all the forges down in the town, then they can't make tools and armor and stuff anymore, and then the town is in a state of imbalance and they need to fix that ultimately, right? And that'd be what the higher level rules are for, to decide how it allocates jobs and stuff to fix the problem. That's the complicated part. That we'll see how smart I'm able to make it, but I think the GOP rules get us pretty close to be able to have like a couple strategies for a town to fix it. Like all the able bodies rally around and build a new forge kind of thing, and they buy another anvil from a merchant. To the mere presence of a player, because things... Yeah, well, once you're in the town, everything is actually happening. So when you're in the town, the machinery of the town is operating for real. And and then when you leave, the town has to decide how it continues its overall strategy. But at that point, it's just like a spreadsheet that it ticks over day to day once it gets back to sort of a satisfactory equilibrium. I think that what it is that in memory, there's sort of like a spreadsheet for every town, right? And everything has to balance out so that there's enough food to feed the people. So you still have to have trade routes in case you can't make your own food supply. Same with tools and things. So that's the idea, that in order to keep the world in balance for a particular town, it is assumed that as long as there are open trade routes, that town can get what it needs, what it has in deficit. It can get it from the next town over or the next town over through the trade routes. Now, if you as a player destroy all open trade routes and burn the airport down, then the town ends up into sort of a emergency phase where they're trying to build more trade routes, or the town becomes a ghost town. People move away. But these are all, I think, things I can set up as like using GOP rules or GOP-like rules. They'll be a little weird because they'll be set up for town strategies. But the idea being, the goal of the town is to balance its spreadsheet. So, it has a certain fudge factor of exports and imports that it's willing to tolerate. And within that, it's going to seek actions that will get it back to that balance. And even if it's like they have to they have to press everybody into service. Get leaf data. Oh, okay. Okay, so hold on. Let me kill this because we got massive errors happening. What I'm getting at is the spreadsheets need to be synced up with little details like the time it takes for a specific NPC to get from the home to work. It's hard to get perfectly right, but that's why you have to build some fudge into the system. But yeah, so again, like if the town is in deficit by a handful of tools at the end of the day, it's just going to be assumed that it's coming from some merchant, but some trader. But yeah, if you hang around in the town, I imagine that it'll be possible for the spreadsheets to get all out of balance. But again, like I said, I do want to have like the guy that's responsible for watching the storerooms and making sure they have the town's storerooms. The warehouses are what it uses to keep its resources for the townspeople. And so it is a direct reflection of what's in the spreadsheet at any given time. And so there is going to be one NPC whose job is to his visible job is to be that balancer. When you're in the town, he's the guy running around collecting the cargo from this to go fill this storeroom and so on and so forth. Well, we'll see. I have in my mind how it's supposed to work. That doesn't mean that it will. Now I need to sort out what was going wrong here. I think that get leaf data because call is null. Oh, we were outside of the... I think our NPC left the visible world. AI line 244. Yeah, so basically he left the world and then everything started going to pot. Right, we're going to kill his schedule for now. Or I could just make his whole walk smaller. Well, first of all, I could start his walk up higher. 64. That's reasonable. And so then the max he would go down is 128. 128 plus 64. 192? Yeah. 192 should be okay. Alright, so we should be able to run again. But yes, it's a very tricky problem. And it's one of the ones that most interests me, because if I can get it right, I think the world will feel really alive, and you will feel as a player like you can really impact things, both positive and negatively, right? You know, if you set up, like if a town has trouble keeping its food supply up, and you go and you set up a farm nearby and can deliver those goods to them, then that town succeeds better than it did before. And if you can hire an NPC, basically you can, there's all kinds of opportunities for you to plug yourself into the processes of the world, whether it's helping the guild, you know, make a town stronger by doing something like that, setting up a farming a farming village nearby or something. So where did he go? Well, I'm not going to worry too much about it. We're about to reroute his. We're about to make a whole bunch of NPCs do a bunch of different things. So, okay, so we should have all of the things, and so let's make some NPCs. So, create schedule. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's jumping up and down. So anyway, create schedule for a particular entity. And to do that, we're going to want to pick a... Where's my little schedule thing? This is where we really need this. Okay, so first we're going to create a bunch of dumb schedules that are all the same. Alright. The sleeping part's going to be the boring one, but that's okay. So let's figure out where his home is. I think in this code I have access to the helper functions. But we'll see in a second. Well, let's see. See, I think I can do this. So let's comment. Let's leave all this old stuff in just in case I want to test it. Although it's not clear if it's as useful as it used to be. Holy moly, that was a lot of stuff. Alright, so this new one, we're going to just create a schedule. Active just schedule. Create schedule for the NPC, and I just want to see what happens. Get structure. Location. Yep. Okay, cool. The nice things work. Okay, so we're going to have to pick a home for him. Equals does Groovy let me remove a random item from a list in an easy way? No. There's no built-in way to do that. Okay. That's unfortunate. I already knew about that way. Oh, but see, we're going to pass a random. I like to have... I pass the random in because then I can have consistent results. Okay. So home equals... Oh, we didn't keep track of the buildings. So houses equals... And then if all that was not true and the type contains BLDG, oh, none of this is going to work because I already have chopped the blocks off. Boolean used equals false. This is not the right way to do this. So if not used, and so houses dot add building, and we'll go ahead and make it continue the pattern. Okay, so that should work. Oh boy. 321. Oh yeah, because I've left bad code. All right, so there's going to be more houses than anything else, so we'll just say can't do it. If you can do it, okay. All right. Otherwise, we can do this. And if the home, so home equals houses, remove rand.next int houses.size. Headline home location. Let's see what that does. Okay, so it found a place for them. And so that's their home location. Let's find a place for them to work. Workshops. Home. Work. Oops. So there's no rhyme or reason. It's like they don't necessarily live. Oh, that one is actually close to. He will work close to where he lives. That's cool. It's accidental though. Okay, so where would he go to eat breakfast? Let's find breakfast. If rand dot next double is less than 0.5, then he'll go to the well. Equals, and we'll just make that. We won't, obviously we won't empty the wells. Otherwise, let's make it merchants. Print line. Breakfast, well. Breakfast merchants. let's see. So he goes to a merchant for breakfast all the way across town. I'm looking at this, you can't see where I'm pointing, but there's a home, work, breakfast, merchant, there, logs. Okay, so he gets breakfast, goes to work. We already have work. We want lunch. If ran.next double is less than 0.3, else. Oh wait, I should. Yeah. So. I want to bifurcate this, or not. I guess trifurcate. Roll less than 0.76 or 66. 3. Okay, so lunch equals, he's going to eat lunch at the well. Otherwise, he's going to eat lunch at a garden. Otherwise, he'll eat lunch at home. Or a merchant. It's like, yeah, let's get another merchant. Okay, print line. Lunch. Well, lunch. Lunch. Garden. Oh, dot location. Lunch. Merchant. Okay, and now he will work. He eats breakfast at a merchant, he eats lunch at a merchant, but it's a different merchant. Okay. And then we don't have any leisure time. He probably wants to go to the storeroom. Materials equals, we'll just pick one, warehouses dot get print line get materials. So every day he'll go and collect his materials before work. Yeah, so he again, there'll be some logic to this eventually, right? Okay. So let's move this down here where I can see it. And let us steal one of these. So at the beginning of the day, let's see, active schedule, skeds. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So at 6 a.m. he goes to work, or goes to breakfast. Actually, we need to yeah, walk to breakfast equals where is move NPC defined yet by here? Yep. Okay. Okay, so he walks to work. So he comes from home, or walks to breakfast. Breakfast. Location to breakfast location. At 3 meters per second. So this way I can figure out how long it is. So let's just kill this for a second. And so then he walks to work. Right? Eats breakfast. Oh, walks to materials. So from breakfast location to materials location. And then he walks to work, where he goes from materials location to work location. And then he'll walk to lunch. Where he goes from work location, to lunch location. And then he walks to work again, walk back to work. And so lunch location. And then walk home. Okay. All right. So we got all of those, and we want the ability to turn those game seconds into a world time. Actually, no. Unfortunately, yes. Do I have the ability to create a world time? From game seconds, I do. All right. What I want to do is add total game seconds. Okay, so this is game seconds. And let me see. Let me just do a test real quick. So let's see. Print game seconds test. New world time parse. What is it? Parse world time. It's right there. Get total game seconds. I think that's what it is. $60. Okay, so that is real. It's not world seconds, it's game seconds. So we're good. And so we want the ability to calculate the duration. That is actually the duration in game seconds. Let's do one better. World time. Calculate end. So start. Duration equals new. I need the world time where I can pass game time in seconds. There is one. World time, calculate duration, return start dot add duration. Okay, let's see if that works. So just make a start time, new world time, parse world time, 6 a.m. I don't know if it's the zeros required, but let's put it anyway. So let's print start time. Get as as full string. Okay. End would be walk to breakfast. Calculate end time. Calculate end. Start time as full string. Alright, let's see what that does. Oops, it didn't like it. No such property, calculate duration. Calculate duration. Oh. Still something wrong. Cannot cast object with class math victory to class double. Line 250. Okay. Apparently the syntactic sugar does not work correctly. Well, or maybe something else is wrong. Who is trying? 250. Or was that? Nope, that's still right here. End. Subtract start. Oh. No, actually it might have been okay to do this. And then I would need to take the length. Okay, syntactic sugar works. Start time would be at 6 a.m. and it would only take us 4 minutes to walk there. From home, four seconds really. That's not right though. Wait, let's see. So 64. I'm gonna take 32. Yeah, something's not right there. Well, first of all, we want to and no, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Print line distance. I don't trust this. Seconds. Distance is 96. Seconds is 288 seconds. How does that only come out to for game minutes? Yeah, so that must be game seconds. Yeah. Game seconds. No, so that's not what we want. That's not at all what we want. We want real-time seconds. So hold on a second. And so I think we have to use this one and then multiply to get nanos. So base offset 0 and then times 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. That would be milliseconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Because then all right, start. Oh no, there's no way. Okay, so 288 can't be right. A distance is 96. Oh, I need to be dividing for one thing. It's divided by speed. Right, 3 meters per second means it takes me a second to walk 3 meters. So distance is 96, which takes 32 seconds, which is 32 minutes in game. That sounds reasonable. Is it really though? If home... Oh, we're walking to breakfast. Yeah, that's right. Alright, okay. I'm gonna go with it. Sounds good enough to me. We're getting close to seeing a little... Oh man, I didn't realize we were so far behind. Okay, so then schedule we're gonna add goes to breakfast. And we start at yeah, so this is where it would be better. No, this is fine because we're only doing travel time. World time dot parse world time. So at 6 a.m. he goes to breakfast. That's start time, so that's fine. Start time. Actually, we can make this nicer all the way around. World time. Parse world time 0600, and we just give it the action. Walk to breakfast. And let it figure out. So we'll have a special sched constructor that will sched action we'll give it this yeah, so that'll be easier. So we'll make an alternate constructor that just takes the start time and the action, and then we'll call this name start action dot calculate end action. Okay. Is that going to blow up? Okay. And really, actually, the schedule could keep track of where they were. So probably there's some state I could build into the overall active schedule so that we can just chain these guys together. And so we could like add a pause and so on and so forth. But as it stands, let's go ahead and fill out the rest of these. I'm going to get rid of this. So he goes to breakfast. And then he goes to materials, and he does that at, let's say he leaves at 8 to go to walk to materials. And then he goes to work at 9 o'clock. Well, I mean, yeah, it takes him a while to collect the material. Walk to work. Okay, still compiles, that's good. Goes to lunch. And so at noon, he walks to lunch. Hopefully he can fit this stuff in. Walk to lunch. Walk back to work. Oh, this is world. Back to work. At, let's say he gets an hour lunch. Walk back. Walk to back. Yeah, that's what I called it. And so then he walks home, goes home. And he has dinner at home and so on and so forth. So when does he kick off work? 6 p.m. So 1800. Alright, so that's a decent schedule. Okay, it compiles. Alright, let's give him his schedule. Let's see what happens. So it will already be in the morning. Where is he? This is where it would be nice. Ah, here he is. So he's leaving the warehouse and heading to work. Right? Except for he's not. Oh no, he just got to the warehouse. Yeah, so he walked to the warehouse. He's already at the warehouse. Yeah, so this is where the duration he's at the warehouse should be based on when he gets there. We have like some things we want to start. Like we want the end time to be set, and some things we want the start time to be set. Like when he leaves work is a set time, but when he gets to work is also a set time. So I need a separate one of those. So now he's heading to work, which is going to be near his house. Oh yeah, the direction needs to be set based on. So where is his job? Probably this stone canopy here. Yeah, I need to make these like the centers of the buildings, not just the corners, but that's okay. So he'll stay here until, when did we decide it was noon? Yeah, so let's run time forward a little bit. Let's run time forward to 11:49. So at noon, he should start walking to where he's going to eat lunch. Okay, so where is he going to eat lunch? Is it this merchant? That's not too far from where he works. That's pretty good. Is this where he's going to eat lunch? Yep. Okay, so we've got One random NPC set up to do a bunch of stuff throughout the day. What if we create a bunch of them now? So yeah, so instead of this, let's say I equals 0, I is less than 20. I wonder if we have enough work sites for 20 people. I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No, let's just do 10 then. Let's not get crazy. Alright, we got people walking around the town doing their thing. Should anyway. Everybody's... Where is everybody? Maybe they all got wiped out. Oh, he just disappeared. Bad things are happening. Let's try with just 2 NPCs. Oh, yeah, there's one out in here in the woods. Wonder what he's doing. I think for the moment I'm also going to increase the amount we see their little orbs through the... Where is the... That's the agent debug. It's up at the top. Yeah, so let's make them almost fully opaque through things. Let me make sure I'm not blowing up. Okay, I'm not blowing up. I wanted things to be a little brighter. So there's the fake player. There's one of the NPCs. It feels like we only have one NPC. And what's he doing? He is eating lunch. No, he should be done with his lunch. Yeah, so he's messed up. Just joined. Happy Saturday. For a second I was thinking it was Sunday. Well, I mean, if we wait another hour and a half, it will be. So why are we only seeing one NPC? If we do only one of them, he works, right? Unless it's a... No, he's stuck. I wonder if it's a day issue. Let's start the simulation over again just to see. Maybe it's a wrong day. If not, I can add debugging now because there's only one. You know, even one is failing, we've got a problem. So I'm glad you could join, Chuck. Alright, so then where is our... He's sleeping. Wherever he's sleeping is in his house. I thought his home was somewhere up here. Yeah, they're just not obvious enough. Oh, and nothing moves him initially. Right? So before we even start, move NPC. So that's a problem. Move NPC entity position orientation entity NPC home dot location new quad D. There he is. Okay, so that's his house. Is there only one NPC spawn? Yeah, at the moment, because I tried to do more than one and then they disappeared. So let's get him doing his schedule. He should start moving here. Okay, yeah, something's wrong, because he should already be heading to breakfast. Alright, so something's wrong with the scheduler. How far back do I want to... It's funny because it was working before I put it in a loop. Let's just make sure that that's not the issue. No, I must have broken something else. Because these aren't running at all now. There's something else I did that broke it. So let's see if we're even getting called. Yep, we are. Okay, we actually moved now. The pain points of debugging, indeed. So now we're actually where we're supposed to be. Let's add some more time because we're supposed to now... Okay, so now we're heading to work. So now he's working. I wonder if it's a case where I just had to reload the... No, because we've been reloading the scripts. Alright, so let me put this back. The loop with just one value in it. Okay, so he's at work, and he's going to be at work for a while. Then at noon, he takes off for lunch. So I advance time to just before lunchtime. Okay, now he's heading. Okay, so let's try 2 NPCs. Okay, so he's still heading to work. There should be now a second NPC somewhere. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing both of them move. I just don't know where the other one is. But there was definitely a period of time where we were getting interleaved. Oh no, that's the same guy. I should actually put what NPC is moving. Okay, so 571 is the only one that's moving. Oh, don't know, see? So now he's working. But where's the other guy? Okay, we're definitely we have two separate schedules working. Just one of them's not doing anything. And why not? Well, I ought to be able to go back and see whose home was where. Okay, so we have one guy. His home is there. Second guy. His home is there. And his work, where he should be right now, is at 168.64. Which would be somewhere over here. So there's our regular guy. Oh, he's at home. Yeah. Okay, so that's the other thing is we need the when there are blanks, it doesn't update to the last most recent item. So that's something we'll have to fix as well. So like we left gaps in the schedule. And that's a problem. Oops, bump. Okay, so yeah, I don't see the other NPC at all. And he would be somewhere over here, I think. And we weren't seeing him move anyway. So let me see if I can fix that bug where if we get a null, we will do... Okay, if schedule's not equal to null, let's say prev equals null. Prev if sched dot start compare to TOD is less than or equal to 0, then prev equals sched. So we'll always return at least something, and then we can math.min this to 1.0, so we never go beyond the end. And that'll make sure that we always at least put it at its last best location, and we're only setting one of them, so something's wrong. Like we're only fixing one. So he's where he's supposed to be, but we're not even setting the other one. And so why is that? Is something being created statically? We create a new schedule for this NPC. We have two separate schedules. Again, we're only moving the one guy, and there he goes, hopping right over the top of the house. And the other, I just really want to see more than one NPC moving around. There's no reason that they shouldn't be. Because we're creating 2 of them. And we're updating print line update. What we can do is we can say I'm going to leave that in. Yeah, the other NPC's not even getting moved. So entity sked. Oh, okay, wait. We got problems here. Can I get property sked? Okay. Who's trying? 304. Cannot get property sked on a null object. And now we've got too many errors to let's start over. Okay, everybody should be home right now. Yeah, so we've got one at his house. And for some reason, oh, I didn't put the plus there. Okay, so then we can look at this. Alright, so we've got one of them that's updating to sked null. The other one's not getting updated at all. I think that just right now trying to have like a daily schedule of activities. And here's the issue. No, that's not. But for some reason only one of them is getting updated. And well, first of all, why is sked null? Sked should never be null. Yep, so it's got 6. It should always find at least one. Oops, that's going to be a problem. Crap. Are you always this calm when dealing with bugs? I mean, yeah, you have to be zen about it. Panic doesn't help. So we've got too many errors streaming by. So we will start over and see if we also get errors streaming by. I do admit that when we're almost an hour over our normal time, that I do start to get a little stressed about it. But all things happen in the fullness of time. All right, so we've got a bug there. So null pointer exception. Oh, somebody is way out of their Oh, wow. Okay, so somebody's way out of line. But that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we can't have that. But also, why were we only updating one entity? So see, there should always be one. Yeah, stop. That's too much. Alright, we're going to have to go back to basics here. So let me kill this debug for a second. We'll get the application running again. I feel like something is sharing something it shouldn't, and that's the issue. Come on. I mean, the more stuff I load into this, the longer it takes to load. It's a pain. Okay, so there's the one. He's in the right place. And so then we'll put our stuff back down here where we print line date, and then here we print line active.entity. So that should start streaming a bunch of crap. Alright, oh, they're both the same. We've got two of them, but they're both the same. Okay, so that's a problem. Oh, yeah, duh. Yeah, I was right. I'm sharing stuff. So I'm not creating separate NPCs. I'm creating separate schedules. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so now that's so dumb. Okay, so now we should have two somewhere. Okay, there's one there. Alright, so let's put my debug back in the mover. Oh, it's already there. So somewhere back here there should have been two moves. Alright, let me put these debugs back in because just to verify that I fixed that one problem. Okay, we definitely have two separate NPCs now. Okay, that's a start. And see, I don't know where oh, they're both there. Okay, so it's just still early in the day. So let's advance time a little bit. They should wake up at 6 a.m. and head to breakfast. So we got one here and one here. Okay, so now they're heading to breakfast. See, little guys are heading to breakfast. Actually, let me add a player so that we can make them show up a little better. There they go. Are they going to eat breakfast at the same place? Looks like they're eating breakfast at the same place. Wonder what's for breakfast. Well, they're going to the well, so they're just going to splash some water on their face. Get some water, splash some water on their face. It's just weird that they both went to the same one. IHOP. Yeah. So then at 7 they should head to where they're going to pick up their materials. Guess they're fasting. Yeah. Well, maybe they grabbed a snack at home before they left. They should have already moved on. Oh, maybe the when do they? Yeah, that's not the right one. Okay, so they go to materials at 8 o'clock. So it's in a second there. I fast forwarded time a little bit. So if they go to the same place for materials, I'm going to think there's something wrong. Oh, okay, cool. They're going to different places at least. So they're going to pick up different materials. From different warehouses. So you're going here. You're probably going here. So in a second, I'll do 10 of them. And I'll remove this. Okay, so they, at 9 o'clock, then they head to work. So it'll be just a minute. So let's add 5 minutes. Okay, let's see where they work. Well, I know one guy works up here. Yeah, so he works up here, and he must work here or here. Alright. Oh yeah, he works up at the stone canopy. I forgot. Which is actually right next to his house, too. One of these guys works right next to their house. Okay, so that's working. Let's try 5. Alright. And I'm going to turn off the debugging that we've got like chunking away up here. Something went wrong, or we're way behind on our logs. Yeah, they're fasting. Oh yeah, crossing your fingers. Okay, we've got 2 still. But why didn't we get more? Let's try again. Oh, okay, we've got an error. Okay, so something I did wrong. Oh, I accidentally removed a semicolon. That's funny. I've told this story before, but I had a boss who used to like walk up behind me. He didn't know anything about programming, but he'd walk up behind me and say, "Oh, looks like you need a semicolon." All right, we got like people around. They're all at work right now. So let's advance to lunchtime and see where they go for lunch. But yeah, that was his favorite thing. He'd walk up behind me no matter what I was working on. He goes, "Oh, looks like you're missing a semicolon right there." He had no idea what he was talking about. Okay, so now they're all heading to lunch. Looks like one guy's going to lunch at the well. He must have brought a box lunch. Yep, he's going to the well. That other guy's going to the well. He's going to the well, meet him there. So these two are having lunch together at the other well. Why are they all going to the well? Oh, this guy went to a merchant. He's at least having a good lunch. So it's like the medieval equivalent of a food truck, right? Alright, so we've got 5 working. Let's get 10 working. I can't do more than that because I think we run out of places for them to work. Unless we start letting them share. So either we just tripled up. Yeah, so there's just a ton of people eating at that one. Oh, we had a bunch of people eating down here too. So we had some merchants and wells and things. Alright, everybody's doing their thing. Yeah, so these two guys ate lunch close to where they work. Yeah, so how many total places to work we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I can have a total of 13. gainfully employed NPCs in this particular town. Well, unless I let them double up. So now we've got, so he's still heading to work. He must have had a long way to travel from where he was eating lunch. Okay, so we got like all these little NPCs running around. They are going to head home at... that's the wrong schedule. So they're back at work. They're going to head home at 1800. So let's fast forward a little bit. Boink, 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 boink. And let's watch them all head home for the end of the day. And in real life, well, in the real version, there'll be some variation in the times they leave and stuff. They won't leave it exactly. So now they're all going to head home. But the point is with these schedules is, like you see when I reload the script, it's basically recreating these guys, but because the schedules are the same, it knows where they are at a particular time of day. And this is sort of the guide for their day, and then there can be some slop in between there. Yeah, so he's heading, okay, so you got a couple guys heading home down here. This is like a little nice area right around the graveyard over here. Yeah, so they all head home down here, so they live together. And so, yeah, so this is something I can play with, because then I can pick different schedules, like, so there can be the people who, you know, stay at home and do chores or go and garden, and I can start working out different kinds of jobs and chores and schedules and see how they all interact. I can start adding some basic pathfinding in, because even within the city grid, you know, there's some pathfinding I can do so they stop walking through buildings. Anyway, I got like places to go with this now. But let's see them all let's see where they eat breakfast. Let's reset the camera. Okay. So see, they're gonna head to breakfast at 6 a.m. So here in a second. Is it 6? Yeah, they head to breakfast at 6 a.m. Alright, so they're all heading to breakfast. I don't know if you can see all these little guys. The gray ones down here. They're out of the range of any active player. I guess I could move the player down one more. And move them over one more. Okay, so everybody's heading to breakfast. Why are you eating breakfast at the airport? Oh, because the airport is a merchant. So sure, why not? Maybe there is a place to eat. These guys are having the well. They could be eating breakfast at the airport. Three of them are eating breakfast at the well. I got a bunch up here at the food stall. A couple down here at the well. This one's he's getting some fruit down here from this merchant. Again, and there would be NPCs that would be the merchants too, right? McDonald's at the airport. That's right. And so then at 8 o'clock, so they get some time to eat lunch and, you know, chat with their buddies. And so let's advance time a little bit more and watch them head to pick up their materials for work here in a second. So when it hits to 8, they'll start heading to pick up their materials for work. There they go. Yeah, there's definitely kind of like a suburb down here where there's not a lot of industry, and then the industry spread throughout the town up here. Really, these guys would be better off living close to where they work, though. That commute is killer. But yeah, so they're all heading to these warehouses. So there's only these 4 warehouses, and they're not programmed to go to the airport or merchants. Okay, so they'll go pick up their materials, and it takes them a while, you know, to work through the clerk and so on, and then they'll head to work starting at 9. So simulating the regular work life, exactly. Okay, so they're about to head to work now. They've picked up their materials for the day. Now they're all like heading off to work. So it's working. The basics are working. Yeah, so he works up here. We should have everybody. Right, I did 14. Oh, I did 13. Why did I do 13? So there's going to be one place without a person, I guess. Yeah, it looks like it's this one. These blue boxes are the ones that I've tagged as being places of work. So we can add one more, and that should fill in that 14th spot there. So I don't know why I did 13. So let's watch. He should appear there. So this is where we're watching right here. We should see a guy appear up there when I save here. We reload and pop. Yep, there he is. And so we ought to be able to go zoom in and see what these guys look like, because they each should have their own little unique names. And Sora Swanmore. Actually, that's a really good elf name, really. Sora Swanmore. Swanmore. Alright, so let's go and check out this guy. Or her, I guess. Kalisevi Cloudview. Cloudview would be a good elf name too, but honestly. Aberrant behavior, homeless, vagrants. Oh yeah, sure. Absolutely. They wouldn't necessarily be managed by the town. Some of the vagrants and homeless would be, and then there'll be like sort of the lower class people. Bandits would be their own thing. Like a bandit group would be managed sort of like a town. There will be like a higher level AI. Beyond like random encounters. Fixed bandit groups would have a camp. There would be a hierarchy, and they would have their own sort of rules to keep them balanced. Okay, so this is Kale Everfell. Man, some of these names turn out really good. Every now and then there's like a really bizarre one. So we got Videla Crovalis. That's not bad. She's here at work. And we've got Kel Dawnspell. Man, some of these last names are like hitting pretty hard. That's nice. Carmor. Reynald Carmor. He sounds very haughty-toddy. I wonder what his job is. What is your occupation, sir? Mr. Carmor. Let's see what the NPC. Let me see what the fake player is. Bragano Cow. Oh, they're heading her out. Oh, he's really cruising to lunch. Justin Fearband. Where are you heading to lunch, my dude? Let's follow you to lunch. Oh yeah, you're really walking at just about 3 meters per second. Yeah. So that's actually normal speed. Okay, so you're having lunch. You're gonna splash some water, have some box lunch, and then so a bunch of these people. So that's something I have to work out, right? Not to stand right on top of each other. But a bunch of people are coming to eat at the well. I don't know why the well is so popular. Anyway, I'm pretty pleased, actually. I didn't necessarily expect to get all that done today. So yeah, this is a really nice springboard for me. And then I can build sort of patterns for the town. And like I've got that whole list of jobs, and I wanted to start thinking about what does an NPC do, and how do I make the town look interesting at any given time of day. So there's going to be some randomness built into here so that they don't all go to lunch at exactly the same time every day. All head to work at exactly the same time every day. Every person will have sort of their own preferences, and I'd really like to have like different schedules on some days of the week. Maybe this town has a particular day of worship, or more than one. And then there'll be like the guards that like live in these guard towers or the keep. And maybe a couple of the guys in the keep come and man these guard towers that are around. And then a couple of them are the city watch that like sort of roam the streets. And now I can play with all that. And that's the kind of fun part. And I think that's where I'll end it tonight. Does anybody have any final questions now that it's a 3-hour live stream? The cool thing is I have the new stream controller, so I can go like this and hit this button that says, "Thanks for watching." Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers. Please consider subscribing and comment on the videos. That feeds the algorithm, even if you're just saying, hey, nice video, man, that's very cool. That's awesome. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.